Hello and welcome back to this 30-minute yoga sequence focusing on opening your hips and your lower back. So it's a nice easy practice. We're not going to get up much from the floor today. All you might need just to have at hand is a brick or a block or whatever it is you use, a book, an empty shoebox. And for Shavasana or for the end, you might want to have a bolster or a blanket just to make yourself comfortable. So like I said, nice easy practice. So let's get started. We're going to start by lying on our backs. So come onto your back, nice long arms, and we're going to use our breath. So as you slowly inhale, raise those hands up. And then as you exhale, lowering the hands behind you. Again, nice slow inhale, raising those hands up. And then exhaling, hands down. So really beginning to relax the body, inhaling up, exhaling down. Inhaling up, exhale. Breathing in, one more round here, breathing in, this time as you inhale the hands up, bend the knees up, and as you exhale, squeeze those knees in. As you inhale, extend the arms, extend the legs out, squeezing that belly button in. Exhale, squeezing into Apanasana. Inhale, extending the legs out. Exhale, squeezing in. Again, breathing in, extending out. Exhale, squeeze in. One more time, breathing in, extending out. This time, exhale, squeezing in. And hold it here. Just going to hold and rock that lower back, massaging it a bit. And then we're going to take each knee in our hands, nice, slow, big circles, opposite directions, opening up through the groin. And just really taking your time with your breath and your movements. And let's go the other way as well. So let's extend that left leg out. Just keep holding on to that right knee for the time being. And as you exhale, just pull that right knee into the armpit, using that breath to get into that range of motion. And let's turn the sole of the foot up. We're going to come into half happy baby. So you can use your hand to grab either the sole of the foot from the inside or the outside, whatever your range of motion is. And again, we're just going to stay here for a few breaths. Aim to keep the shoulder blades flat on the mat if you can, at least the left one. And again, just breathing in as we're opening up through the hips, through the glute. Nice slow breaths like the beginning. Just releasing, grabbing hold of that knee again. This time, take a deep breath in, squeeze it in, and as you exhale, open that knee over to the right. My left arm is outstretched to the left shoulder blades in contact with the floor. Breathing into the groin. Back to center. We're going to switch hands. So left hand grabs that right knee, outstretch the right hand. We're going to bring that right knee over to the left side, and same, just pull it over to the point where you can keep that right shoulder blade on your mat or on the floor. Breathing in, feeling that nice stretch again through the top part of the hip here, the beginning of your IT band, the top of your iliotibial band. So it's that nice long muscle. And we're going to work it a couple times today. Breathing in again. And a little bit of a spinal twist here at the same time. Nice and gentle, especially if it's first thing in the morning for you, or your first practice or first movement of the day. One more breath. Let's come back to center. And let's extend that right foot up to the ceiling, holding on behind that right leg. And we're going to point and flex the toes, just to activate the muscles a little bit more in the legs, in our calves, in the shins. Really good daily stretch, this one, especially if you're walking or you're running. Just getting into the muscles in the calf, the soleus, gastrocnemius, and those muscles that run down the front of your leg as well. Lovely. So let's bring that right knee in, bring that left knee in one more time, squeeze them in, extend that right leg out, and then again, this time as you exhale, squeeze that left knee into that left armpit. So we're going to repeat all that on the left side now. Using that breath, using our breath to make space. So let's turn that left sole of the foot up again. Let's come into half happy baby. You can either grab the sole of the foot from the inside or the outside, whatever feels comfortable. Keeping those shoulder blades flat on the mat, and again, getting into the quads, into the hamstrings, into the hips. Let's bring that knee in again. holding on with the left hand. We're going to open it up to the left side. Breathing here again. Keeping the shoulder blades nice and flat. Bringing that left knee across the body, grabbing hold of it with the right hand, coming into that spinal twist. And you might notice you're able to twist a little bit more on this side. Just again, don't overdo it, listening to the body. Focusing on that breath. One more breath here. Breathing in the knee back to center. And let's extend that leg up to the ceiling again, pointing and flexing those toes. Opening up through the leg. And let's just bring that knee in. Let's bring both knees in. So you have the option of rocking back and forth or just over to your side. If you're going to come over to your side, just roll over to the side, come up to seated. Going to make myself available, and we're going to bring the right foot, so we're going to come into a seated position, either right foot on top of this is my left foot on top of my right thigh, option left foot on top of my right calf, or if you want to come into Sukhasana, my right foot's in front, my left foot's underneath, toes flexed. So that's your options. Just breathing here into the space, breathing into the sit bones, sitting up nice and tall. We're going to take the right hand, place it on the left knee, left hand behind us, breathe in nice and tall. And then as you exhale, just a gentle twist over to the left. Breathing in again. Exhale. If you want to twist a bit more, use that breath. Breathing in tall. If you want to twist a bit more, you can exhale. Twist slightly more to the left, looking a little bit behind the shoulders. And then we're going to come back to center. Bring the hands behind the back, clasp the hands, roll the shoulders, lift that chest up. Breathing in here, just using that breath. Lifting that chin. We're going to release the hands, lifting them up, and we're going to come forward. So walking forward. Maybe this is as far as you come, or maybe just using that breath, walking into that space. So maybe you're starting up nice and high. And as you're breathing, you can walk those fingertips forward. So we're working into those hips. Let's walk the hands backwards. And we're going to just switch our legs. So if you've got right leg in front, this time it's going to be left leg in front or right foot on top. Up to you. I'm going to show you the different positions. So again, this time we're going to take left hand, right knee, right hand behind us, breathing in nice and tall, exhaling to twist. And again, breathe in tall, exhale, twist. One more time, twisting if you want to. And again, coming back to center, bringing the hands behind the back, clasp the hands, roll the shoulders, lift that chest, lift that chin. Breathing in here. Releasing those hands, lifting the hands up. And again, we're going to forward fold from here. So bending at the waist, coming forward. You might find you might be able to come down a little bit further this time. And again, walking those fingertips forward. Feeling the stretch on that right side. If it's a little bit uncomfortable, you can always come back, or you can rest your head on a block. And just walking our hands slowly back to center. Lovely. We're going to come over onto tabletop. So we're going to unravel the legs, come over onto hands and knees. So just making sure our knees are 2 fists apart, so that's our hips, and wrists slightly under the shoulders or slightly forward. And all we're going to do is draw big circles with our hips. I'm going to the left. So we're just going to go one way a few times. You might want to draw bigger circles or smaller circles depending on your range of motion. Again, how you're feeling. Good. So let's just come back to neutral. We're going to raise that right arm up. And then as you exhale, bring it underneath the left, coming to rest on that right shoulder, right ear. Left hand can stay where it is if you want, or you can outstretch it. Or if you want more of a stretch, bring that left hand behind the back. Completely up to you. I'm going to go for the middle one here. Just a few breaths. Let's bring that right hand back up to the ceiling. Release it down, and we're going to sit back on our heels. And you can stretch the hands out, bring the head, forehead to rest on the mat. Again, if that's not accessible, you can use the block. Rest your forehead on the block. And again, just staying here for a few breaths before we repeat on the other side. Our way back up onto tabletop, and from here we're going to make hip circles going in the opposite direction from before. So again, you decide how big or small you want to make them, and just one more here. Oh. Coming back to center, lifting that left arm up this time and threading it underneath the right arm, coming to rest on that left shoulder, left ear, stretching out. And again, right arm Feel free to outstretch it or bring it behind the back. Just resting here for a couple of breaths. And then slowly making our way back up to tabletop, lifting that left arm up, releasing it down. So from here, we're going to make our way into lizard pose. So you're going to step that right leg forward. Help it along if you need to. So bringing that right leg forward, stepping it along, just aligning that ankle with the knee. Slide that left leg back. Going to get a nice stretch, not only in the quad, but in the hip flexor here at the front. Just make sure that right foot's to the outside edge of your mat. Hands are on the inside. So feel free just to stay here if this is as much stretch as you want. You have the option of increasing the stretch by either bringing forearms onto the block and resting here, or coming all the way down onto the floor, resting there. Just a couple breaths here. Getting into that groin, into that hip. And then we're going to come back up onto our hands. We're going to walk that right foot over to the left side of your mat, or over to the left side, and slide that left leg back a little bit further, and we're going to come into pigeon or sleeping swan. So once again, you have that option to keep the chest up. If you find that you're flopping over, for a better word, to the right, use a blanket or a block. Just place it underneath the glute just to help you get into the pose, and then come down if you want to rest. Just for a few breaths. We'll make our way not necessarily up. So from here, if you want, just come up onto the hands. If you've got the block, slide the block in front of you. We're going to slide that right leg behind us. Coming back down to rest in prone, maybe resting your forehead on your left forearm. Bend that right foot up. Reach back with that right hand into our prone quad stretch. So just a little gentle quad stretch here still. Breathing in. One more breath. Releasing that foot. Let's press ourselves all the way back just into child's pose, just for a breath or two. Before coming back into tabletop. And same, we're going to repeat all that on the other side. So again, step that left foot forward, help it along if you need to, especially if you're tight in the hips. Coming into our lizard, so left foot to the left side of the mat. And again, you choose how high or low you want to come. And again, just holding it for a few breaths here. We're going to come back up onto the hands, coming back into our pigeon. So bringing that left foot over to the right side this time. Again, help it along if you need to. Coming to rest, sliding that right leg behind us this time. And again, if you find you're falling over onto the left hip, use that block. Otherwise, again, you can stay up, down, lower, rise yourself as much as you need, and then coming to rest. And once more, lifting the chest up just before we swing that left leg back. Relaxing down, coming to rest on our right arm. Bending that left foot up, reach back with that left hand. Quad stretch here. Releasing that foot. This time, instead of coming into child's pose, all we're going to do is take our arms, slide the elbows underneath the chest, lifting that chest up, coming into Sphinx pose, relaxing the bottom, and just lifting the chin up ever so slightly. Just nice stretch through the lower back. Just releasing down. One last time, press yourself into child's pose just as a little counter stretch through the back. And from here, we're going to make our way into tabletop and into seated pose. So just a few last little poses here. So just bringing the soles of the feet together. So a couple of variations here. It depends. Some people aren't very flexible through the hips. That's totally fine. That means if your knees are up high and you find coming forward quite uncomfortable, lack of space, hard to breathe, your option is going to bring the hands behind the bottom and just press your pelvis forward, press that chest forward, and you still get that nice stretch here in the groin. If you're able, if your hips are nice and open already, you choose how far in front you want those feet to come. Again, it'll stretch different parts. And again, you can use that hip. So if your knees come down nicely, but you find this is as far as you can come, use the block and just rest your head, or use 2 blocks. I can already hear some of you saying, I need 3 blocks. That's fine. So you can rest your head. Or walk those hands forward once more like we did at the beginning and come down to rest. And we'll just stay here for a few more breaths. You might find after a few breaths, you're able to come a little bit deeper into the pose, and that's okay. Just relax yourself deeper if you want, and vice versa. If it's too much, come a little bit out of the pose if you need to. Lift yourself up and out of it a bit if you need to. And then just making our way back up for our final pose, which is actually going to be the opposite direction. So we're going to come into reclined cobbler's pose. So my feet are still together All I've done is shift around, and I'm just going to make my way back onto my back, just resting here, palms out by the side. And once again, if this is too much of an arch in your back or it hurts the lower back, you can always use a blanket to prop yourself up slightly, or if you've got neck problems, or you can come onto a bolster as well. So completely up to you. Just raise the chest up, and we'll stay here for a few more breaths before going into Shavasana. So feeling that nice stretch one more time through the legs, just loosening today all the muscles around our hips, through the thighs, through the groin, and a little bit of the lower back, just to relax them. And once they're relaxed, they release any pressure on that sciatic nerve. And from here, we're going to start to bring the knees in and stretch them out towards the corners of your mat. Just nice and relaxed. Let's take a nice deep breath in here and let out a big giant sigh. One more time, breathing in deeply. Big sigh out. And just remaining here in Shavasana for as long or as little as you'd like. So just stay in Shavasana, relaxing and focusing on that breath for as long as you'd like. And when you're ready to end your practice, just slowly bring movement back into your fingers and toes and move on with your day. I'd like to thank you for practicing with me today. If you liked today's practice, leave a comment below. Feel free to try out some of my other videos, or subscribe to my YouTube channel or follow me on Instagram to be notified of my next video. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.